Let's take a look at the following example. Suppose you have a 400-pound engine which is suspended from two chains that form a 60 degrees angle with the ceiling. We want to know how much weight each chain supports. So as you can see here, you have three forces. The very first one is F1, and then you have F2, which is related to the second chain. And then here you have the weight down here, 400 pounds, F3. Since it is suspended, it's in equilibrium form. It means that F1 plus F2 plus F3 must be equal to 0. Let's write this down here. For any force, remember that we have the horizontal and vertical components. We need to find each one of these separately. So for F1, we need to find the magnitude of F1 times cosine of theta, which is 60 degrees. Then for the vertical part, you have the magnitude of F1 times sine of 60 degrees. So this is for F1. F1 is equal to magnitude of F1 cosine of 60 degrees. And here you have magnitude of F1 sine of 60 degrees, which is equal to, here you have cosine of 60 degrees, which is a half, so a magnitude of F1 times a half, and magnitude F2 times square root of 3 divided by 2. Now the same thing for F2, but note that F2 is going to be located on the second quadrant. So this object down here, you have magnitude of F2 cosine of 60 degrees, but it has a negative sign in front of it because it's in the second quadrant. Your x is negative. So for F2, you have negative magnitude F2 cosine of 60 and negative, and magnitude of F2, which is going to be positive sine of 60 degrees, which is basically magnitude of F2 negative a half, and magnitude F2, F1, sorry, square root of 3 divided by 2. And as we mentioned, F1 plus F2 plus F3 must be equal to 0. For F3, you know that it is a vertical force downward. It means that your x is basically 0 and y is in the negative part. So your y is negative 400. Perfect. So we need to solve a system of equations. Basically, we are looking at the components here. So here you have a half magnitude F1 minus a half magnitude F2 plus F3, or F1 plus F2 is negative F3. And here you have square root of 3 divided by 2. F1 plus the square root of 3 divided by 2. F2 is equal to, now you multiply this guy by negative sign, equals to 0 and 400. So system of equations from algebra says that, hey, I have magnitude F1 minus a half magnitude F2 equal to 0. It means that magnitude of F1 is equal to magnitude of F2. And from the second component, you have square root of 3 divided by 2 times magnitude F1 plus square root of 3 divided by 2 magnitude F2 is equal to 400. But since they are equal to each other, it means that you get square root of 3 F1 or F2 equals to 400. So magnitude of F1 is 400 divided by square root of 3, which is basically the same as magnitude of F2. So each chain can approximately handle 400 divided by square root of 3 pounds. Am I right? You need to use a calculator to find an approximation. So let's take a look at the calculator here. Punch the numbers. And as you see, it's approximately 231 count. Basically the same thing for F2 as